torchlight, red on sweaty faces.
After the frosty silence in the gardens, after the agony in stony places, the shouting and the crying, prison and palace and reverberation of thunder and spring over distant mountains. He who was living is now dead.
We who are living are now dying, with a little patience.
Here is no water, but only rock. Rock and no water in the sandy roads. The roads winding above among the mountains, which are mountains of rock without water.
If there were water, we should stop and drink.
Amongst the rock, one cannot stop or think.
Sweat is dry,
And feet are in the sand. If there were the sound of water only.
dead mountain mouth and carry his teeth that cannot spit. Here one can neither stand, nor lie, nor sit. There is not even silence in the mountains, but dry, sterile thunder with that rain.
There is not even solitude in the mountains. But red, sullen faces sneer and snarling from the doors of blood-cracked houses.
If there were water, but no rock. If there were rock and also water.
And water,
A spring, a pool among the rock.
If there were the
sound of water only. Not the cicada, nor the dry grass singing, but the sound of water over a rock.
Where the hermit thrush sings in the pine trees. Drip, drop, drip, drop, drop.
But
there is no water.
What are the roots that clutch? What branches grow out of this stony rubbish? Son of man, you cannot say or guess, for you know only a heap of broken images. Where the sun beats and the dead tree gives no shelter, the cricket no relief and the dry stone no sound of water. Only there is shadow under this red rock. Come in under the shadow of this red rock, and I will show you something different from either your shadow at morning striding behind you, or your shadow at evening, rising to meet you. I will show you fear in a handful of dust.
Under the brown fog of winter dawn, a crowd flowed over the London Bridge. I had not seen so many. I had not thought death had undone so many. Sighs short and infrequent were exhaled, each man fixed his eyes before his feet, flowed up the hill and down King William Street to where St. Mary Woolnoth kept the hours with the dead sound of a final stroke of 9.
My nerves are bad tonight. Yes, bad. Stay with me. Speak to me. Why do you never speak? Speak. What are you thinking of? I never know what you're thinking.
I think we're in Ratsau. The dead men lost their bones. What's that noise?
The woodman with an oar.
What's that noise now? What's the wind doing?
Nothing. Again, nothing.
Do you know nothing? Do you see nothing? Do you remember nothing?
I remember those pearls that were his eyes.
Are you alive or not, Father? Is there nothing in your head? Ha!
feet aren't working, my heart under my feet. After the event wept, you promised a new start. I made no comment. What should I resent?
On Margate sands, I can connect nothing with nothing. The broken fingernails of dirty hands. My people, humble people who expect nothing. To Carthage then I came, burning, 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 burning. O Lord, thou pluckest me out. O Lord, thou pluckest, burning.
Baby faces whistle and beat their wings amongst the violet vine.
They crawled head downwards on a blocking wall, and upside down in the air were towers.
Calling reminiscent bells that kept the hours, and voices singing out empty systems and exhausted loves.
The music crept upon me by the water. Along the strand out between Victoria Street, oh city, city, I can sometimes hear the pleasant whining of the man, the clatter and chatter from within, where the fishermen lounge at noon and the walls of Magnus Martyr, an inexplicable splendor of Ionian white and gold.
Hyacinths first a year ago. They called me the Hyacinths girl. Yet, they come back late in the Hyacinths garden. Your arms full and your hair wet. I could not speak, and my eyes failed. I was neither living nor dead. Looking through the heart of light, silence, and memory of children, staring at the archdukes. You took me out on a sled, and I was frightened. You said, Marie. Down we went. There, in the mountains, you feel free.
Free.
Madame Sosostris, famous clairvoyant, had a bad cold and nevertheless is known to be the wisest woman in Europe with a wicked pack of cards.
Here are your cards. The drowned Phoenician sailor. Those are pearls that were his eyes. Look. Here is Belladonna, Lady of the Rocks, the Lady of Situations. Here is the man with 3 staves, and here the wheel. Here is the one-eyed merchant, and this card, which is blank, is something he carries on his back, which I forbid to see. I do not find the hanged man. Fear death by water. I see crowds of people walking round in a ring. If you see dear Miss Edmonton, tell her I bring the horoscope myself. One must be so careful.
One must be so careful these days.
April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the deadland, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. Winter kept us warm, covering earth in forgetful snow, feeding a little life with dried tubers. Summer surprised us, coming over the Starnbergers. With a shower of rain, we stopped in the colony and went on in sunlight into the hop garden, drank coffee, and talked for an hour.
Oh, that Shakespearean rag. It's so elegant, so intelligent.
What shall I do now? What shall I do? I shall rush out as I am and walk the streets. What shall we do tomorrow? What shall we ever do?
April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs of the dead land, mixing memory and desire. Summer turned over with graceful trees. Winter kept us warm, covering earth with its forgetful sand. Feeding a little like the dry tubers. April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs of the dead land, mixing memory
So
and
elegant,
desire.
so intelligent.
Winter kept us warm.
So elegant, so beautiful.
Feeding a little
Sure I saw when I
dry
did.
tubers.
Stop to
Stetson!
What is that sound high in the air? Murmur of maternal lamentation. At the violet hour, the evening hour that strives homeward and brings the sailor home from sea.
The chair she sat in, like a burnished throne, glowed on the marble.
Where the glass held up by standards wrought, with fruited vines from which a golden cupidin peeped out. Another hid his eyes behind his wings.
Double the flame of the seven-branched candelabra. Light reflecting upon the table as glittering of her jewels rose to the air.
In vials of ivory and colored glass unstoppered lurked her strange synthetic perfumes, unwent, powdered, or liquid, troubled, confused, and drowned the scents and odors stirred by the air and freshened from the window. These ascended in fact along the candle flame,
Flung their smoke into the lagoon. Huge seawood fed with copper, burned green floor, framed by the colored stone, which in a sad light a carved dolphin swam.
Above the antique mantel was displayed as through a window gave upon the sylvan scene. The change of Philemon by the barbarous king so rudely forced, yet there a nightingale filled all the desert with his rival voice. And still she cried, and still the world pursues, and other witness some sometime.
April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. Winter kept us warm, covering earth in forgetful snow, feeding a little life with dried tears.
Summer surprised us, coming over the Starnberger Sea with a shower of rain. We stopped in the colonnade and went on in sunlight, into the hop garden, and drank coffee and talked for an hour.
That corpse you buried in the garden, has it begun to sprout? Will it grow this year, or has the sudden frost began to disturb its bed? Oh, keep the dog far hence, that's friend of man, or his nails will dig it up again. You hypocrite, left shore.
Who are those hooded hordes swarming over endless plains, stumbling in cracked earth, ringed by the flat horizon only? What is the city in the mountains? Cracks and reforms and bursting violent air, falling towers, Jerusalem, Athens, Alexandria, Vienna, London, unreal. I have heard the key. Turn it once and turn once only. We think of the key, each in his prison.
Thinking of the key, each confirmed to prison.
Your heart would have responded gaily when invited, beating obedient to controlling hands. I will show you fear and a handful of dust.
said to her myself.
Hurry up, please. It's time.
Now Alan's coming back. Make yourself a bit smart. He's gonna want to know what you've done with all that money he gave you to get yourself some tea. He said, I swear, you'll have him on out, Will, and get a nice set. He did. I swear.
I can't bear to look at you.
And no more can I.
And think of poor Albert. He's been in the army 4 years. He wants a good time. And if you won't love him, there's others that will.
Who are there?
Something of that.
Then I'll know who to pick.
Hurry up, please. It's time.
If you don't like it, you can get on with it. Others can pick and choose if you can.
Well, if Albert won't make off, then I won't be for lack of talent.
You ought to be ashamed to look so antique.
And her only 31.
I can't help it. It's the pills I took to bring it off.
She's had 5 already and nearly died of young George.
The chemist said it would be all right, but since then, I've never been the same.
You're a proper fool.
Well, Albert won't leave you alone. There it is.
What you get married for if you don't want children?
Hurry up, please. It's time.
Well, that Sunday, Albert was home, and they had a hot meal. They asked me in the dinner to get the beauty of it.
Hurry up, please. It's time. Hurry up, please. It's time.
I beg you.
Good night, Bill. Good night, Bill. Good night. Good night. Good night, lady. Good night, sweet lady. Good night. Good night. The river's tent is broken. The fingers of leaf clutch and sink into the wet bank. The wind crosses the brown land unheard. The nymphs are departed. The river bears no empty bottles, cigarette ends, sandwich papers, handkerchiefs, or any other testimonies of summer nights. The nymphs are departed. Their friends, the lord-hearing heirs of city directors, leave them no other addresses. By the waters of Leman I sat and wept. Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. Sweet Thames, run softly, for I speak not loud or long. But at my back in a cold blast I hear the rattle of bones and chuckle spread from ear to ear. London bridges fall down.
A rat crept softly through the vegetation, dragging its slimy belly on the bank. Musing upon the king, my brother's wreck, and on the death before him. White bodies naked on the low damp ground, and bones cast on a low dry garret, rattled by the rat's foot. I will show you fear in a handful of dust.
Phoebus, the Phoenician dead, forgot the cry of bulls and the profit and loss.
The current undersea picked his bones and whispers. As he rose and fell, he passed the stages of his age and youth, entering the whirlpool.
Oh, you who look windward and who turn the wheel and look windward, consider Plebeius, who was once as tall and handsome as you.
She turns to look into the glass, hardly aware of her departed lover. Brain mind, and have more thoughts perhaps.
Well, now that's done, and I'm glad it's over.
The lovely woman speaks the phone and paces about her room again, alone. She smooths her hair with automatic hand and puts a record on the ground.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down.
In this decayed hole among the mountains,
In the faint moonlight, grass is singing.
Over the tumbled of graves amongst the chapel.
There is the chapel, only the wind's home.
It has no windows and the door swings.
only a cock stood on the roof tree, and flash of lightning.
Then a damp gust bringing rain.
Then
Spoke the thunder.
What have we given, my friend, blood shaking in my heart?
The awful daring of a moment's surrender, which an act of prudence can never retract.
By this and this only we have existed, which is not to be found in our obituaries.
For memories draped by the beneficent slave.
Or under seals broken by the lean solicitor in our empty rooms.
I sat upon the shore, fishing with the arid plains behind. Shall I least set my lance in there?
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down.
These fragments I have shored against my roof.
My fair lady.
Lovely directors, Shannon and Emma, for the great year we've had. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think we can all agree we're awesome directors.
Yeah?
And also, we thank you guys for the awesome work you guys put in. I know it was a lot of hours we had that we weren't home. So we thank you guys, and we thank you guys for coming. Have a great night, everybody.